Hello everybody and welcome to my video on the playlist Developing Feel. This video is going to have the first section of the Developing Feel playlist that you will have somewhere else, either in the course that you are following, or if you're a member of the Softness Training Circle, it will be under the video. And what I want to share now is the first set, and this is the first set of it, and this is the bit that you want to use, or that I suggest you use, or that I use when I am going to either just after I put my saddle on, and when I'm tightening up the girth, I do this, and I'll explain which bit I do when and why. And if you're not going to ride and you're going to play on the ground or go for a walk or do some groundwork or some in-hand work or agility, whatever it is, I find this really useful just as a check-in. Are we on the same page? And it's as it says, it is developing feel so that we can do the minimum effort to get the maximum result, and have a lovely soft conversation with your horse. So this is Fabuloso, looking at the screen with you, and let's have a look. So the first thing we're going to do is what I call the nose tip. I'm going to pause as I go along so I can explain. The nose tip is just what I would like the horse to do is understand that if I put a soft feel on his nose to the left or to the right, he will just follow that feel with his nose. He doesn't have to move his feet. It's just he'll tip his nose to the left or he'll tip his nose to the right. And it's just kind of the A of the ABC of the whole conversation. So let's have a look. I just like him to tip his nose to the right, and you'll see I just put a soft feel on the rope and wait for it, and there, you see it was just a little bit, just the tiniest bit. I got a little bit ambitious and I wanted a little bit more, and that's why instead of putting more pressure on the nose, what I did was I changed my position. So I took a couple of steps to the right to see if I could get him to follow that feel. That was very nice, and as soon as he followed it, I let go. I go back to neutral, and I waited for a second to now reach down, say hello, and I just want to pause here to show you. I love my hand here. See, I'm just asking with the index finger, so the index finger, I might even have the middle finger there. One way that I could make this ask just a tiny bit louder would be to put the ring finger around the rope, and if necessary, the pinky finger around the rope, but that would be quite strong. So this is lovely. I say pinky finger pointing in the direction you would want to go, and the horse follows the feel. Let's press play and see what happens there. And one more step. Oh, and then okay, so what you see there is he didn't follow the feel with his nose. He's a little bit braced through his body, which is why we're doing this exercise to begin with. And what he did was he took a step forward. So I'm going to keep asking, kind of saying, that's not really the answer I'm looking for. Can you try something else? And there's no more pressure going on. I'm going to just help him with my hand. I said I would, that's what I like. And I explained it to him. And you see the next time around, it's then easier. So now I'm going to take it further, and I'm going to ask for a nose tip. And I'm going to ask him to follow his nose with his looking at him with his left front foot. So he's tipping his nose to my right and then moving his front left foot to the right as well. And what I did here, I'm going to turn it back a little bit so you can see what I did. What happened was, as I was asking him, I realized he was a little bit too much on his forehand to be able to do that. So I keep asking. You see, I keep the ask here, but I push the weight backwards a little bit so that then it's easier for him to take that step. And that's all I want, just that step. And the same thing to the other side. And a little bit, put your feet into position, and oh, beautiful, pick up and step. That was really nice. That was really nice. Okay. Now, as you see, we have a little bit of a lick and chew and a pause there. It's not really the place to start discussing the lick and chew, but I think it's pretty much established that this lick and chew has something to do without, I don't want to go into big details because this is about keeping it simple, but it's the horse going from its flight and fight nervous system to its rest and digest nervous system, because we all have two nervous systems. We can discuss that, or you can research that elsewhere. And when they go from, oh, I'm a little bit worried because he was not understanding, this is all very new to him, to, oh, I can do that and I'm okay, I can start eating again, the first thing that happens is elevation, and that is where the lick and chew comes from. Okay, so I gave him also a little pause because it's very important to pause and wait for him to realize that he's okay. Okay, so I just waited, and he had a bit of a big swallow, you can see there, and I'm just waiting until that all passes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask him to nose tip, left step. Then I'm going to just push his shoulder a little bit, asking him to walk around me in a circle. And you'll see, if I press it, put it back a little bit, again, I don't touch him with the rope, it's just like there. And I wait to move my feet until, right there, until I am standing where my leg would be if I were on the horse. Okay, it's just, I'm going to just stand there for him. So I'm not in front of him, I'm not dragging him. I feel, as he's going around me, I feel he's coming on top of me a little bit, like he wants to be close to me, and that's fine, but I don't want to feel pushed. So I put energy, I put a little bit of energy with the end of my rope and so on. Go out a little bit, you stand up on your own feet. This is filmed with a Pivo, so I got a bit close there. I'm not a cameraman. And here, now this pushing his hind out, and then a step back and a step to the side. Let me go through this step by step. Why I feel this is important. This is not about, for me, this is not about disengaging the hind quarter. I know it looks like the same exercise, but I always finish it with a step back and an opening to the side. Let me just show you again, and then I'll explain to you why I do it this way. So that was the back leg, then backwards, and then I ask him to move the other front leg sideways. What I'm trying to achieve with this exercise is that the horse, as it steps under, I want it to be a step under rather than a plonk yourself on your front end and stop. It's more a step under and then take a step sideways. As they take that step under, the way I see it, and it is my little thing, I feel as he takes that step under, and in order to be able to do a proper step under and not a step under and forward, he needs to engage his abdominal muscles to get his tummy and his barrel out of the way so that the leg can cross under. And as he does that, by nature, by connection, the back, he kind of lifts his back a little bit. So he uses his tummy muscles, which lifts his back. And then as he stops, I ask him to step backwards and open up to one step, because that shifts the weight back onto the back legs again. And all of this is just getting his back, is just stretching his back and in a way, rewarding good posture and working on good posture before we get on the horse. If I had a saddle on this horse right now, for those of you that are going to go on, if you're doing the paddock to playground course and you're watching this video in that course, you would do this with the saddle, and this is when you would then go check in with the horse, touch it down the neck, and check if the girth needs tightening, and you tighten it one hole and then you do it again. Okay, let's see that, the same thing in the different direction. So nose tip to the left. I had to get a bit closer, move him back so he can move. Okay, and I am sending him out a little bit because I feel he hugs me, which is fine, but I need him to walk around me. There, yeah, nice and soft with a nice smile in the rope, nice bend. That's interesting there as he comes around here. Let me just point this out to you. You can see he's stepping nicely under with his inside hind, but his outside is swinging a little bit. So it tells me that I have some work to do. Okay, so there's the cross under. And now I'm going to ask him to step back and the other front leg. Yeah, so now he's standing nice and square. Okay, and that's it. That's it. That's it. So that is the warming up, or also we use it to tighten up the girth. So if you had a saddle on, you would do one of these circles. I call it a soft send with a soft stop. And you check the girth, you tighten it. If you need to tighten it, you do another soft circle with a soft stop in the other direction. You check the girth. If you need to tighten it, you tighten it. And you do another circle. So you always, every time you tighten, you do another circle. And you'll be quite surprised how much you have to tighten the girth and how loose it gets as the horse takes a deeper breath, engages himself, relaxes a little bit, and gets ready to do his work. Okay, so that is the warm up before mounting, or the warm up before going off to play with your horse. Enjoy, and please, if you have any questions, wherever it is you're watching this, please come and you can share them on either, if you're in a course, there'll be a pop-up group for you. If you're watching it on the Learning Circle, there's a group for you. And if you're watching it somewhere else, there is the Finding Softness and Connection. I'm always available. I'd love to have a chat. See you at the next one.